Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Richard Skipper Celebrates. That is the promo for my new show, which is going to be at the Laurie Beachman Theater 3 weeks from tonight. Tickets are selling fast, so get your tickets today. That show is completely unscripted. It's all based on questions from the audience. A lot of people have been telling me over the years to tell my story on stage, and I thought, what stories do I tell? So I decided to let the audience ask those questions. And so it's really an audience interactive type of an evening. And it got me to thinking about the theme of today's show, transparency. How transparent are any of us when we present our art to the rest of the world? I also, as some of you know, recently left at the end of February, social media. And that's changed the way that I am interacting with a lot of people in my life. But I am very, very excited about today's show because I have 5 incredible artists all waiting in the wings. Nobody knows who's coming on first, but I do. And perhaps this next clip that I will be sharing with all of you will let that person know who is coming up first in our show. And here he is.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone will change. No one stays the same. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold, 'cause that's the way of time. No one and nothing goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, hummingbirds do fly. Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone will change. No one goes unchanged. Winter turns to spring. A wounded heart will heal, but never much too soon. Yes, everything must change. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and music makes me cry.
And that, of course, is Craig Rubano, who's going to be returning to the Laurie Beachman Theater with his incredible show, which I've seen, 2025 Bistro Award winner, Outstanding Autobiographical Show. What is it about us and our autobiographical shows?
Well, I've never done one before, so this is a new thing for me. And in the spirit of the theme of the day, I think I've been really thinking about this process of how to disclose and yet not tell everything about yourself, but be as true to the spirit of yourself as you can. And it's an interesting process to think about. Jeff Harner really helped me, my director for this.
He's phenomenal.
Really
one of the best directors out there. Yes.
And just how much to talk about, how much not to talk about. But it's been very powerful for me. I'm glad we're doing it one more time. I think it's 2 weeks from tomorrow, on the 24th of May, because it's been formative for me to do it. It's been formative in my own life. Part of the story I tell, of course, is that I've been gone for 10 years, and in that time I became a minister, and a lot of these songs came out of services that I've done, including the one we just listened to, "Everything Must Change." And of course, everything must change, and we've certainly learned that in the last 5 years with all the change that we've lived through. And in the face of those changes, moments come to us in our lives, and we either sort of take those moments or not. So that's the sort of theme of the show: take the moment, the story of those moments that have mattered to me, that have kind of changed the course of my life. And it's really, truly the very first time, even at my congregation, I think, included, first time I've been all the me's at the same time.
Wow.
So
wow.
I'm there. I'm the scholar. I'm the minister. I'm the singer. I'm the I'm the brother. I'm the son. I'm the goat owner. I'm the all the.
I want to ask you: is there a difference, and what are the similarities between doing what you're doing in cabaret and doing what you do as a minister? I mean, what are the similarities? What are the differences?
Well, I think the messaging, at least for this show, aren't so far off, because it's meant to be an inspirational show based on my experience. But hopefully, people leave with the message that we can change, that we are flexible, that our lives are a series of decisions that we make, and that hopefully we do it in community with people that we care about. So in that sense, it's very much like what we do at the congregation. We live our lives in the culture that we're in, at everything happening to us, nationally, regionally, in our own lives, and we get together, promising to behave in ways that bring out our own authenticities, and we kind of see how we can live through these changes as authentically as we can. It's certainly the goal of the congregation, that people show up with their authenticities, no matter what they are, even if they're not the popular things in the country. And of course, there's been such severe and sad mistreatment of so many different kinds of identities that we really try to provide a place for everybody to be themselves. But yeah, it's not a show. So and I'm ministering to others in a ways that probably the show. I mean, there's humorous things in the show too,
right?
And I don't do as many humorous things. Well, I do some. It's actually
it's a great show.
Fun.
I absolutely loved it. Was it an easy return for you to come back? I mean,
No.
Obviously, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't easy. Well, I mean, I made the decision to do it, but it was very it was very difficult for me to be this this disclosive on stage. I've had people come from all parts of my life, you know, from my childhood, from Argentina, from Peru, from college, from, you know, I mean, just, you know, and not all of them know everything about me. Some of them I haven't spoken to in, you know, 30, 40 years maybe. And so they're finding things out about me that is news to them. And so that's very, you know, it's like walking into a surprise party and all the quadrants of your life are there and you think, oh my gosh, you know, they don't know about what they know about. And, you know, I used to be like that, where everything was very compartmentalized. And it's very powerful for me to just tell my story. And no one said a word about any kind of surprises that they've experienced. They've all just thanked me, and it's reestablished communication with so many different people in my life that it's been
That's
such a blessing.
incredible. Craig, I want to bring on our next guest, and
Yeah.
actually, I'm going to let you do this.
I'm going to do it.
Yes, I have 4 people waiting in the wings, and all you have to do is give me a number 1 through 4, and we'll see who's next.
Well,
And
let's say,
as we say that.
let's say 2.
Number 2, this is a new person in my life. She's actually coming to us live today from Costa Rica. And she's working with my dear friend Aaron, who I know is watching, with the EMC program, which we're going to talk about. But I want to share a video of the work that they're doing, and then we're going to bring Jill on.
Great.
At EMC, we believe that art has the power to transform lives. For over 25 years, our studio has been a home for creativity, self-expression, and community. Hi, my name is Erin Caleb, and I am the founder of EMC Arts. We are excited to announce that we are converting to a nonprofit organization to expand our impact and accessibility to the arts in our community. This change will allow us to dream bigger, to provide holistic arts education across generations, and to expand and increase our accessibility to the arts. EMC Holistic Arts is a welcoming space where people of all ages can express themselves through different kinds of art. We want the arts to be accessible to everyone and help remove financial barriers through our new scholarship program. This year, we are launching several new arts programs and relocating to a new space due to safety concerns at our current studio. But we can't do it alone. We need your support to help bring our vision to life. Over the next 2 months, we are raising funds to help us relocate to a safe space, expand our programming, and offer scholarships to ensure no one is turned away.
We learn teamwork, how to communicate without talking, focus on the things that went wrong. It's fun, you get to learn.
Okay.
Takes you away from your everyday life and your struggles. And you no longer have to be home watching TV.
A little bit of piano, and then we sang and meditated, or we listened to the sounds, and it's not just focused on the one thing.
Your donations matter because
You're not just funding a studio, you're igniting dreams, creating future leaders, and keeping the arts alive across generations. To make this vision a reality, we need your help. Join us in shaping the future of the arts. Donate today.
Yay, indeed.
Jill, welcome to the show. And
Thank you.
I want to say I've already donated. And
Thank you. Yes, I know that because I watched them come
hope
in.
that everybody who watches will make a donation, because the work that Aaron and you and the entire team are doing is incredible. First question, how did you get involved with this?
Yeah, so with this, I mean, she was looking for a grant writer when she decided to become a nonprofit, and I think it was kind of a little meant to be. I think one day I kind of just Googled, grant writer theater, thinking I would combine my 2 academic and professional backgrounds into one, and she found me, or I found her, and I applied, and the rest was kind of history. We spent our first interview just laughing and chatting, and that was pretty much how I was brought on. So yes, any donation to EMC that a person can give, $5, anything you can give would really, really
And the link will
Okay.
be in my newsletter on Monday, and I will be spreading this everywhere. Um, I don't even have a brain for even how to start as asking for grants or doing that type of work. What is the biggest obstacle that you are facing today?
Yeah.
And I think I know the answer with trying to raise money. And I will say this before you speak. I was very fortunate. This big poster in the back is the Dr. Carol Channing Harry Collegian Foundation for the Arts. And I was on their board. And Carol used to say, if kids are not exposed to the arts, they won't know the difference between a microphone and a xylophone. So thank you all for the work you're doing. But what is the biggest obstacle that you're facing now?
I mean, I think there are so many needs in general. I mean, asking anybody for money. I'm also fundraising for, my own production this summer. Asking anybody for money at this time, especially like you were saying, it feels like such an uphill battle in any way, whether you're asking for, the community to help donate. And we have been seeing some wonderful and generous donations coming in, and we're going to need to see that continue if we're going to succeed in what we're trying to do. But I mean, it's so difficult to be starting an arts nonprofit at this time in this country with what's going on right now, because it's just a complete uphill battle, and the resources are getting less and less, and the need is getting more and more. And so any support and help that we can get is enormously appreciated, because the community at EMC is really incredible. I teach musical theater to kindergarten in Greenpoint, and you just see, I've even seen, I only started teaching them in January, how much they learn, how their self-confidence grows. It's remarkable. And, there are stories of everyone from someone who thought they couldn't sing, who's now doing national singing competitions and winning them, to, a kid who had horrible social anxiety and never imagined herself on a stage, and now is performing in, the musicals that they put on. So it's a pretty amazing thing.
Well, the thing is that it doesn't always just teach kids about being in the spotlight. It also teaches kids a sense of community.
Yes.
That it takes a village to get to the final product.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's very important with the work that EMC is doing.
Yeah.
So, moving forward, where do you envision, because of your hand in the pot, so to speak, this organization being, let's say, 6 months from now?
I mean, ideally, all of the current programming and more will continue, and everybody can access it without cost. And, all the productions and everything, they won't need to scale back. And most importantly, we will have a new space, because I think it's sort of mentioned in the video, but the space right now has been
problematic.
Very problematic.
Yes, yeah.
And unsafe. And so there's a new space in mind, and we need the funds to be able to secure that. So that would be sort of the top priority.
Well, anything I can do to help, I'm there for you. And you're going to bring on our next guest. So
okay.
This is my Monty Hall moment. Door number 1, door number 2, door number 3.
Okay, I'll go with door number 2.
And she also has a show coming up, and this will give a clue as to who's coming on next.
Okay.
Welcome to my house. Tonight is going to be a lot like family dinner. My family just has one requirement. Be Italian. Be Italian. Take the chance and try to steal a fiery kiss. Hang a shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like Lady Godiva. I'm gonna go. There's no stopping me. When the sun shines, we'll shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'll always be your friend. Took an oath and I'll stick it out to the end. We fell asleep on Nana's porch. I'm gonna take it with me when I go. Don't show up at Christmas, get up in your business. They may not be fancy, but family is family.
And here she is, Nicole Spano. I saw this show and I absolutely loved it.
Oh, thank you.
Again, autobiography, sharing your family story, which is amazing. And, you know, what is it about your story that you hope that audiences are coming away with?
There's a couple things. I think that it's relatable, that whether it's your own family or somebody's family, you know, there's usually somebody that's, you've been touched by a crazy family. We all have members of our family that are, you know, hard to work with. They're embarrassing. They're full of love, but they drive you nuts. And I think that was it. Also, like my grandmother, the thing is, my grandmother was so funny. I spent about 10 years capturing her on video with all my different phones, just because the things she would say were nuts. And I didn't realize it till after she was gone that I wanted to build a show around it, essentially. But it started with being able to, you know, keep her legacy going and share these bizarre stories that were true.
What was the defining moment for you to say, I want to put this story on stage?
It was hard. I mean, the first song you see in this was Be Italian, and that is sort of like the anchor of the show. I was like, oh, they're all crazy. I've done that song a few times, and there's a lot of patter in it. And then it started to become clear, like there's more there. Like there's more that you can explore within that. And then I think when my Nana took a turn for the worse, it was like, it really became like, let's make this more about her.
Mm-hmm.
But it couldn't just be about her, because nobody wants to just hear that for an hour. So then from there, you decide you're going in that direction, and it becomes about the families that we create, the families that we make along the way in life. And so that was sort of how it all came together.
Well, that's a perfect segue, because when you're doing a show, you do create a family with the people that you're working with. And you have Lenny Watts and Tracy Stark. How did you choose your family for this?
Well, I've known Lenny for many years. And I think the thing about growing up in my family is they're always going to tell you directly if they like something, if they don't like something. You walk into a room, they'll say, you gained a couple pounds. Like I didn't ask for that. Like they just will tell you what they're thinking, or like, you look tired today, and they don't mean anything by it. And so the thing I love about Lenny is that he shoots straight with me. He's not going to, you know, throw any fluff there. He will say like, this isn't the best, or like, you know, and I love that. I work really well with that. And then I got to work with Tracy when I was at the O'Neill as a cabaret fellow. And we just really hit it off. We're both Jersey girls, but you know, our style of working, she's such a genius, and she's so great with her arranging and like pushing me again to bring out my best and force me to go to new places and new depths. And, you know, that's how, you know, you just feel it sometimes.
And what's the date of your upcoming show?
I don't have a date yet. So I've done it a bunch of times in New York, and I did it once in New Jersey. And I'm looking to book it again in New Jersey, but I'm also starting to work on a different show.
Okay.
Same team, of course. Yes. But yeah, so this show, I think my whole family's come to see it 1,000 times. So it's like, I think I need to like expand, but also I'm lucky that no one's gotten mad at me for telling these stories.
Well, let me ask you this. What is the most surprising thing that a family member has said to you after seeing this show?
Well, one surprising thing that happened during the show is my uncle, my Uncle Stephen is like a character, but he's just wild. He sat up front, put his feet on the stage, and heckled me throughout the show. like that didn't happen. You're not supposed to know that. I never said that. And I'm like, really, man? Like, I'm your goddaughter. Like, this is really what it's about. You know, I think
Was he doing it in jest, or was he
I
really?
don't know. That's the thing. You never know. You don't know. I mean, he didn't hate it. I mean, he literally will call me and say, I got a story for your show, your next show. Like the thing that I think is the most surprising is that they all enjoyed it and like are willing to be put in another show and not be shown in the best light.
So is your next show going to be a continuation of this? Or
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not exactly sure what it's becoming. It's growing. I think we need to have a bit of a topic change because but I could stay in this place forever. I mean, you know, and to give you, I know you all haven't seen the show. Like, here's a clue about how my uncle is crazy. Like, he shared at a dinner table that his daughter was conceived in a campground bathroom. Just says it over, you know, like these things come out of their mouths. And I'm like, I can't bring you in public.
Well, that's the true lesson of transparency right there. So you're going to bring on our next guest. We have two people waiting in the wings. Door number 1 or door number 2?
Let's go with 1.
And she also has a show coming up this week. Here she is.
No guarantee the days will be sunny and gay. But if we paddle together, whatever the weather, love will show us the way. Lead the way. So let's float this boat and jump the moat. Our castle's waiting there. Bells will be ringing. Birds will be singing. This song is a shining beam. When we row our little rowing boat gently down the stream. We're going gently down the stream. Life is but a dream.
Diane, welcome to the show, and I just love you so much. I have to begin by asking, how did you come up with the title Closing Credits?
I'll tell you, I was traveling a lot and watching movies, and these were some long trips, 15 hours. I was living in San Francisco and traveling to Greece or to, further, can't remember some of the places, but they were 10, 12, 15-hour flights. You can see a lot of movies. And as I'm listening to them, I'm really taking note of all the music that's being played during the movies. So I just take pictures because you're on the flight. You can't actually do Shazam on the flight to see what it is. So I would wait for the credits and I'd be taking pictures of it, not thinking that I could just look it up because we're in this information age, right? But I did it that way. And while I'm doing it, I'm listening to the music that's actually playing while all the credits are rolling, and they're really wonderful songs. Some of them, were written specifically for the film. Some of them are songs that you've known from, from the 60s and the 70s, and they just appear out of nowhere. But the way they're tied into the films, I found so interesting. And so Lena, my director, Lena Katrakis, and I were talking. We're on the phone, and I didn't know what to name it. And I wrote at the top of my list, Closing Credits. And the next day she writes me and says, we should name this Closing Credits. I'm like, what? That's what it is. So, some people were like, they had no idea what it stands for, but
most people don't stay for the closing credits.
I know. I've always waited in the.
I am too. I am that person who
I love being the
get out of the way.
one.
I want to see the closing credits.
Yes, down in front.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two things that drive me crazy, speaking of closing credits, are closing credits that go so fast you can't read it.
Well,
or when they reduce the screen with the closing credits to bring on the next show. if you've noticed that. It's a new
Yes,
thing that's
I
happening.
don't like that at all. So yeah, I had to do a lot of research because some of the movies I'd sit through and then say, "What I was waiting for this," and then it wouldn't be there. So I would, get on at your fingertips. So, but it was fun. I loved putting this together, and it's like there's an endless supply, truly. I mean, closing credits, the end credits didn't start until like the late 60s, early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the music that's used, most of it is, since then. There's some in the show that are from the 30s and which I absolutely love.
Well,
But
you need to know Craig's musical director, Beth Ertz, who
yes.
has such an incredible and rich history with movie music.
Oh,
Yes.
well, we'll have to have a little chit chat with her.
Yes.
No, she's
So,
lovely.
what before we bring on our next guest, what is one thing that has surprised you in a closing credit that you really were not expecting?
Oh, well, when you hear like a character who is not a singer start a song and then it's picked up by the songwriter, but to hear it in the character start it's so powerful to me. It just I don't want to leave. Like I sit there, I'm waiting for more. I always want more. So I think that has surprised me the most. And then of course, any Quentin Tarantino movie, because you never know what you're going to get with him.
That's certainly true. And I don't really think of music when I think of Quentin Tarantino.
Well, he's got some interesting music in his films. So it's been a lot of fun.
Speaking of film,
Yes.
our next guest has the most incredible tribute to Marlene. I am a huge Marlene Dietrich fan. Kim, I have to send you a video that I put together. I did a talk on Marlene Dietrich years ago, and I have this opening video. What's your favorite Marlene Dietrich song? And then I'll share mine, which is going to surprise you.
Please do. Hi, kids. Hi, everybody. Please do send me that video. It's the same for me is true with my worship of Kylie Minogue. One does not have a favorite song. For me, it's about what's resonating with my life at present. Whenever I'm feeling particularly, you may the grays, yeah. Whenever I'm feeling particularly old, Just a Gigolo is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm feeling buoyant, it's Ich bin die fesche Lola. And when I'm feeling wistful about what's going on in the world, it's Lily Marlene.
Well, my favorite performance in concert of Marlene, and if all of you have not watched Marlene Dietrich in concert, YouTube has lots of her concerts. And but Where Have All the Flowers Gone? I love that arrangement. I love the way that she does it. And what is so amazing is I saw, first of all, Diane and I saw the most incredible show the other night. Frank Dane, he's going to be back on the 29th. Go see his show.
It's a beautiful show.
He said something in the show, and this resonates so deeply with Marlene, because Kurt Peterson, his vocal coach, just said, sing less. And he thought at first, what was that about? But when you watch Frank Dane on stage, the lyrics just resonate on a level that Craig, you do that. Diane, you do that. Nicole, you do that. It's, bringing those lyrics and hearing them for the very first time. And Marlene, with just standing so still and barely moving, just what she was able to do with the song.
Truly. One of my favorite things about, and specifically about Where Have All the Flowers Gone, is the payoff comes after a good, I don't know, 5.5 minutes. And it's the antithesis of the world we live in now, where an extended dance mix of a song is 2 minutes long. You know what I mean? Everything, we live in this impatient sort of like race to get to the next thing, the swiping, the TikTokery of it all. And so it's so one of my favorite songs to sing that I don't think Marlena ever sang. If she has, I'm desperate to hear it. But Pirate Jenny, it's a good 4.5 minutes story song. You got to sit through the whole, you can't jump in the middle. What the hell's going on? But it's about spending time. And that is something I take from Marlena in my stage work, whether I'm singing Marlena, Kylie, or Kim, David Smith, and Tracy Stock original. Our Christmas tunes are absolute nonsense. Come to our Christmas show. It's always at Club Coming, a very Weimar Christmas. Keep your eyes peeled. But like it's to be on the stage and to take your time. An audience does not want to watch you race to the next thing. They're in the room to be in the room with you and to experience you being in the room with them. So their transparency.
That's great. And when, where, and how did you learn this?
Honestly, like curiously early on, I've just this has been my mindset for I've been in the States for 18 years. I started doing this all this crazy kooky stuff maybe like 7 years before that, and I was born maybe 2 years before that. I don't know. It's an instinct. It's an instinct I love to see in others. And you just there's a sense of being cared for, of the lyric being cared for, that I really connect with and enjoy.
That's great. Well, I want to have a little fun with all of you, and hopefully this will be fun for you too. I pulled some questions. These are just random questions and I don't even know what question I'm going to ask you until I ask it. But they're here in my hands, and they're all based on this theme today. And some of the questions may seem a little out of left field, but it's to give us a transparent vision of who you are. And Craig, I'm going to start with you. Has there ever been a time when you felt too vulnerable on stage?
Too vulnerable? Probably this show. Probably this show, especially rehearsing it. I didn't know if I could do it, and as I say, Jeff really was very firm and very caring, and allowed me to understand that not only would it be good for the show, but it'd be good for me to be that vulnerable. So yeah, this was definitely a stretch for me.
That's great. And Jill, what is a book that you have read in the past on the arts, or something that you feel that it's time to revisit?
So before I made my big life change from attorney to musical theater writer, I did it in secret and bought the book. I think it's called The Secret Life of the American Musical by Jack Vertel. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he used to teach at the program that I ended up studying at. And I think, so I'm currently on the second the first full rewrite of my full-length show, which is having its off-Broadway debut in July. So I'm sort of like marathon rewriting this show. And I think I need to go back and remember the craft that I learned earlier on when I was studying this, because I'm getting a little too cocky and relying a little too much on instinct. And if I can go back and remind myself of the sort of building blocks, I think it's probably time to reread that book.
That's great. And I have that book, by the way. It's on my shelf.
There you go.
Nicole, what does transparency mean to you when it comes to your art and what you are willing or not willing to share on stage?
It's funny because I don't think there's, based on my family, a whole lot that I keep to myself in general. I'm pretty much an open book. You can usually see what I'm thinking. I have a hard time holding back for the most part. So I don't really think anything is really off topic for me. It's just about like, is it interesting? Mm-hmm. Like, do people care about this? Like, you know, I'm I believe like the more you share, the more you can connect with people, because we're never really alone. What we all think what we're doing or something we do is like, nobody does that. Like, we're weird and we're strange. And I believe that we're all really more alike. So everything that I seek to share is in that vein and to connect. So I haven't found anything that I'm too shy of talking about, unless it like could upset somebody else.
Right. I mean, I have a philosophy for myself, and it's just me, Richard Skipper, speaking. But my feeling is that if I've offended one person in the audience, I've offended one person too many. That's never a goal, to ever say or do anything that's going to make someone feel uncomfortable in the audience. Very important, because I always think that they're first. Diane,
Yes.
the question for you is, what is a philosophy in your life that you find that you keep revisiting?
Oh boy. There's that's a tough one, because what I generally do is continually move forward. I don't revisit very much. I'm just doing that now in therapy. It's been really enlightening. But I've there is no real, well, no, I can't say that. Drama. I love to do dramatic numbers, and I like to find an honest place. And that's a part of the authenticity too, to tie in what we're talking about as well, because if it doesn't mean anything to me, I'm not going to fool my audience. Like, my audience is going to read that. They're going to know it's, they're going to say, yeah, she can sing, but yeah, she was okay. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you sound like. You need to connect with what you're saying and have an honest, just a real honest connection to whatever you're doing. So that is a philosophy I return to, is the honesty in a lyric and going deeper.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's great. And you do it in spades, I might add.
Yeah.
So, Kim, as a freelancer, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. What do you do? What is your game plan when it comes to getting the word out about what you do? Do you have a team? Do you do it yourself? How do you get the word out about upcoming appearances?
I say that I celebrate your absenting yourself from social media, because it is such a curse. It is such a burden. It is such a poisoned bullhorn. However, I try to stay. I don't really jive with Facebook. I don't like it. I really dislike Mark Zuckerberg. However, I'm on Instagram a lot. It's like, you heard that too, Kim. But that's where I have my greater following in terms.
Well, my fingers are crossed that he has to sell it.
I mean, that would be nice.
Yes.
Sell it to all of us. Maybe we can have like a socialist sort of. Everyone has a piece of the pie sort of deal. No, watch it fall apart, but whatever. I wouldn't mind if there was no social media whatsoever. However, I use social media. It's a big driver of me getting out there to my audiences. A friend of mine years ago was like, do not give up on your email lists. Do not give up on them. Just when things were really starting to kick into gear, with like creating a Facebook event and all this kind of actual non-tangible garbage. And so I really do rely on my small but true email list, social media. And then I honestly really try to get out to as many things as I can, connect with people, human people as much as I can. You hold a hand, you give a hug. It's much better. I miss the days of printing up. Maybe everyone else still does it and I don't, but printing up postcards, dropping them off at Don't Tell Mama. I do miss those days. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then Peru, and picking one up at the the Metropolitan Room. Like just all those little spots we used to all pop around and drop off our postcards. It was just, those were the days.
I know. And the concierges that would take our cards.
Yes.
Remember those days?
Yes.
I'm going to do one more round of questions with each of you, and then I'm going to give each of you a chance to have your final word today, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. Craig, what are you currently reading?
What am I reading? I'm reading three things. I'm just finishing John Irving's latest novel, which is The Last Chairlift. I'm reading Absalon by William Faulkner for one of my book groups, and I'm reading the book that just won the Pulitzer Prize the other day called James for another one of my book groups. So three different things that
a lot of reading there.
I love to read.
So Jill, what is the line for you between transparency and overexposure?
For me, I mean, I'm not sure I found it yet. Transparency was big. I mean, for me, I think, you had a quote I saw in the YouTube is something about the line between being, bowing to danger, or, what's scarier, the fear of danger or the danger itself. And I'm one of those people who did the crazy thing and grew up in a, sort of Montreal Jewish suburb and became a lawyer. And then one day turned around and said, just kidding. And, went to New York City, and it was a huge moment of, I remember when I announced it, I wrote this prose piece, and it was very vulnerable. And I just put it on social media along with my admission to Tish and said, here, figure it out, deal with your feelings about this, I'm leaving. So I don't know that overexposure, I don't know that I've crossed that line, or if I have, I'm still okay. So I think I haven't quite, the more vulnerability and the more transparency that I give to the world, the more I get back. Like I'm saying, I graduated from Tish a year ago, and I'm getting my off-Broadway debut this summer. It's just a dream come true. And I think the transparency that I've allowed myself and trusted the world to take has come back to me tenfold.
That's great. I had a branding expert years ago. I asked him, I said, when is it too much in terms of marketing and promotion? And he said, after the show closes. Yeah. He said, do whatever you can to get the word out. Nicole, how has your strength been tested today?
Today, that's more of a work question. And because I have trouble keeping my mouth shut, it's about how I manage to express myself in a way that is respectful, but also, what's the word I want to say? Like, I either like suck things up at work and like just kind of like recoil, but I'm working on being deliberate and using my words wisely, but letting them know they're strong words, but they're not offensive words or rude. But it's more so about letting people know how they can and can't treat you.
Good for you. Boundaries, setting them
Trying. It's hard.
Absolutely. Diane, regarding your career now, finish this sentence. I'm curious why.
Concerning the performing?
Anything.
I'm curious why I feel like I have to do everything. I have to keep myself so busy that to hear Craig talk about you have 3 books you're working on, I have piles of them that I want to get to. And I want time to read a book. So I don't know why I keep myself so busy. I know I exhaust people all the time, but you just just go.
But does it fill your soul?
Sometimes.
Okay.
That's as honest a response that I can give you. I'm figuring it all out. I'm at a great time in my life to make some decisions, and they're not going to be. They're going to work out in some areas, and others I'm letting them go. This is therapy. It's a great thing.
Yeah, I love it. Kim, can you remember the first time that you felt truly honest on stage?
Well, I deal in a lot of artifice, extremely willingly and in a delighted fashion. And it's through that artifice that I often find strains of very pure honesty with myself. It's that finding look. A lot of us gay kids, we start to, because when you're I'm just guessing here because I didn't grow up straight, but when you're growing up straight, you've got media sort of reinforcing a lot of things constantly to you, and as a gay kid, you start to sort of find yourself in the colors of, and for me certainly, and I can't speak for absolutely everybody, but as a gay kid, it's just like, ooh, I see you in Singing in the Rain, Sid Charisse slinking around in green. I feel that becomes a little part of you. It's artifice, but it still is something you feel yourself through. Oh, Judy Garland singing I Was Born in Michigan in her waitress outfit in Easter Parade. Something is hitting a note, well, quite literally. It's her vocal cords, but that rings a very honest bell in me, and I'm going to take that with me too, and I feel myself in that. It's artifice, it's someone else, it's not of you, but it becomes you, it serves you, and you hear yourself through it. So that's my response to that.
Oh, wow. I love that.
An artist.
All of you are artists, and I love each and every one of you. Jill, I'm just meeting you, but I love you too. And I want to thank you all for what you do in terms of bringing your art to all of us. And I'm going to give each of you a chance to have your final word. There's one question left, and I want you to all think about this question and try to weave it into your final word. Your final word can be about anything that we spoke about that you want to build upon, anything that we didn't talk about that you wish we had, or just any message that you want to leave everyone with. I will pick one of you randomly, and then when you finish, you'll pick the next person, and so on. And when the last person says goodbye, I will end the show, and you don't have to worry about how do we get out of here. I'll take care of it. But the question that I want you all to think about is, how do you turn your ideas into organized plans? How do you get from A to B and beyond? And my final word, and I say this at the end of every show, go out and do something nice for somebody else without expecting anything in return. I know that I'm not on social media, but raise your hands if this is true. You all get email.
Yes.
Well, so I want you to think about your email, and I want you to start ticking off each email that you get from a personal friend, someone that you know, whether they are promoting a show, whether they are just reaching out. The ninth one that you get, rather than responding with an email, I want you to respond with a phone call. And I want you to let that person know the impact that they are making on your life. Because by doing so, you are going to make an impact on their life. Now, I have a dear friend, Sean Moniger. Some of you know Sean. And Sean says we're all in the same storm, but we're in different sized boats. And I always say, I don't care what size boat you're on, as long as you have a skipper by your side. And with that, I'm going to leave the screen, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Diane. And when you finish, you will pick the next person. And thank you all for being here, and go out and celebrate somebody else today.
Oh, thank you, Richard. Oh, what do I want to say? I just knew what I was going to say until Richard handed it over to me, and then it just disappeared. What did he just talk about? You know, he talked about getting off the social media. He recommended this book on his last show, 101 Ways to Promote Yourself. I still have it. It's in my pile. I haven't read it yet, but he recommended it. So I want to recommend it to all of you as well. And we are in this together. We get to do this. I feel it's such a privilege that I get to have a stage here and perform and be with beautiful, like-minded people. And I thank you all. I was happy to be here with you and to everyone else out there. And Nicole, my Italian sister.
Well, thank you. Okay. Well, that brought me to a whole different way of thinking about what I was going to say. I'm totally not going with Richard's question, unfortunately. But I think to that point, this beautiful idea that we're all in the same boat is really what I think my hope is I bring to the cabaret scene is connecting with people and showing our similarities rather than our differences. And I'm pretty certain that that's why I love cabaret, because it's not just about a pretty voice. When I was a child and I heard a beautiful Broadway star singing on a solo album, and I was like, it's beautiful, but like I'm missing something. What is it? And I realized with time and a better vocabulary and understanding, it's really about the storytelling and the authenticity behind it. Like, I don't want to hear perfectionism. I want to connect to somebody. And I think that has been something that the cabaret community has really taught me and continues to inspire me with, and people's vulnerability and their transparency. It's very rewarding. So I will turn it over to Jill.
Thank you. I will say there was a few ideas that I'd had. One was in addressing what Diane had said, but she's not here, so I'll talk to her later. I think I just want to thank all of you, because so much of what you all do, I'm a performer, but my main work is in writing at this point, and all of you have given sort of in such a natural, organic way so much respect and thought to, in just what you've been talking about and what I've seen in the clips, the work that you're performing, that other people's words, other people's music, you've all talked about that in such a sort of automatic way. And there's nothing in the world that is more rewarding than watching somebody else interpret the words that I wrote, like in a dark closet in secret by myself, and then gave it to somebody else to sort of like put my heart in theirs and, interpret it. So thank you. And thank you for having me. And it was great to meet you all. I don't know if I bring myself out of here or Richard does it. Okay, I'll do it.
Well, Kim.
I think you should go next, Craig. That's my strong feeling.
Call one of us out. But she disappeared. Great to be in the same room with you, Kim. Always
you too, darling.
Energy. And I think it's energy. The original question was how to turn ideas into sort of formalized plans, and I think it's to bring your ideas into the presence of people whose energies you respect and love, and see what they think, and accept their sort of opinions, and then collect everything, and then take what you want from it and make it your very own. But I think what Nicole talked about, family ties, building a family. I think it's you bring the people you care about around you, and you talk about yourself and your authenticity and your plans, and formalized plans can come later. But the important thing is that energy. And so thank you to all of you. And Kim, take it away. Bring us.
All right, nobody. It's nice to be here with you, and all of our listener friends. For me, seeing an idea come to fruition, it's about building out actionable steps. And for me, and I'm literally going to call her right now, the very first actionable step is to call Tracy Stark. Call Tracy Stark. Actually, don't everybody call Tracy Stark. I don't really personally need for her to be any busier than she is. I'm going to make sure she sees this. But touching on what Craig mentioned, it is about building for yourself a community of people that you can workshop ideas with, that you are yourself with, people who know you, who can tell when you're reaching for the correct fruit on the vine that's good for you, that's going to be juicy and delicious for other people. I'm just so grateful to have been a part of today's discussion. Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you, everybody else. It's been a pleasure. This is Kim David Smith signing off.